Tonight's top EU stories from the EUnit website include: plans are afoot by the EU to ban menthol-flavoured cigarettes. The EU could save £2 billion by dropping local aid scheme. New report shows 150 million people benefited from the EU food facility. And the EU looks to revamp the digital economy. I'm Rick Timmis, and this is the EUnit Nightly News. An EU ban on menthol-flavoured cigarettes in an effort to reduce the uptake of the habit by young people. This is something I have personal experience of, having smoked for about 25 years. I'm no longer a smoker, and it was a difficult habit to start and an even more difficult habit to quit. The point here is that as a teenager I used to buy menthol-flavoured cigarettes because the taste and smell of the other types was horrible. And this was true of many of my friends too. So I think that this is a really interesting and positive article. The European Food Facility. This article looks at the potential cost savings of dropping the EU's food distribution programme. EU Ministers for Work and Pensions, Mark Hoban, said the British government should be making decisions on its aid programmes and not handing powers to the European Commission in Brussels. The EU Food Facility was set up in 2008 in order to provide a rapid European Union response to soaring food prices in developing countries. Perhaps there should be some thought given to bringing this aid closer to home. As we reported in an earlier show of the Nightly News, we are now at a situation where 25% of the European Union's population are in some degree of poverty. A new report on the European Union's food facility, set up in 2008 to counter the negative effects of the food crisis, show that in the 3 years the EU has improved the lives of over 59 million people in 49 countries. Two-thirds of the 232 projects which received funding from the food facility were based on agricultural production or providing access to agricultural materials, like seeds and fertiliser. Statistics show that the projects involved have seen an average of 50% increase in production. Now, I should say that we need to be a little careful here, however. If you saw yesterday's Nightly News, you will be aware of the Monsanto funding story. There should be concern from the public here that when supporting measures involving the provision of seeds and fertiliser, you actually create a dependency on those products to maintain the local agriculture. Now, this is in stark contrast to a sustainable, independent agricultural policy. Our team will continue to point out the connecting dots on these types of stories. Today in our video library, Neelie Kroes announces a mandate for the digital dictatorship. In this video she says the time for thinking and talking is over. What of this woman with the portfolio for the European digital economy? Wikipedia reveals Neelie has a master's in science and has been deeply involved in politics since the 1970s. In 2004, Neelie Kroes was appointed the European Commissioner for Competition. Her nomination, however, was heavily criticised because of her ties to big business and an alleged involvement in shady arms deals. According to her husband, Bram Pepper, from 1993 to 2001, Kroes relied on astrologers and clairvoyants for personal and business advice. Until 2004, Kroes maintained an office in the castle of Jan Dirk Paarlberg, a real estate mogul who was convicted to 4.5 years in prison for money laundering and extortion. Commissioner for the Digital Agenda since 2010, her Wikipedia page is very interesting reading. I've said before on this show, there is a huge desire by the European Union to bring the digital world under its control. As always, we'll have a sharp eye on these developments. That's all from me at the EUnit Nightly News. You can get lots more news, stories and information on our website, www.theunit.com. You can get in touch with us there, and we particularly welcome your letters and points of view. You can follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter username is the EUnit, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of our regular updates. Finally, of course, you can join me and the rest of the team for interactive discussion and debate on Google Plus at any time. Rick Timmis for the EUnit Nightly News. I'll see you soon.